Good morning, dear all. My name is Giovanni de Souza. Of course, on my channel, you'll discover new contents about, the word itself and some other themes, globally talking. But especially, you will also find a playlist on my website or on my YouTube channel where you can enhance and improve your English level. So I'm going to be giving or uploading some tutorials on how to learn English from indoors, how to improve your English level. Today I'm going to give you some tips, some clues, some tricks in order to enable you guys to practice English from within your house, from the comfort of your house or your office. Alright, before kicking start, let's first of all learn how to introduce oneself. Hope you guys can see my screen. First of all, how to introduce oneself. These are the necessary details that you have to give: the full name, the age, the occupation, the matrimonial, marital status, the residence, the religion, and the hobbies. First of all, what's your name, you guys? I guess everybody knows this. My name is Giovanni de Souza. When I say how old are you, I am 27, I am 28, I am 29, I am 30 years old. And when I ask you the question, what do you do for a living? What's your occupation? What's your profession? Or where do you work? That basically means qu'est-ce que vous faites dans la vie? What do you do for a living? Qu'est-ce que vous faites dans la vie? Alright, so how do you answer? Say either I am a translator. Yeah, I will have to answer on my own, and you guys do it on your own. And basically, when I am giving you these tutorials and these coaching sessions, what you guys have to do is sometimes to pause the video and then answer the question, and then you can roll on. Alright, the next question will be, what's your matrimonial status? Next, where do you live or where do you reside? Next question, what's your religion? And next, and the final, what are your hobbies? Alright, the first slide, what's your name? My name is Giovanni de Souza. De Souza being the last name which means nom de famille, okay, and first name which means prénom. Okay, let's move on. How old are you? I am 27, I am 28 years old. So you put here, I am 28 years old. Alright, so you say, when you want to say j'ai, avoir un âge, you say to be in English. J'ai is to be. I am 28 years old. Moving on. What do you do for a living? Qu'est-ce que vous faites dans la vie? What's your occupation? What's your profession? Where do you work? Say, I am a translator at Apprendre Lab. I work as a translator at Apprendre Lab. Alright? And in case you are not employed or you're jobless for the moment, you say, I am unemployed. Okay? Say, I am unemployed or I am jobless. Alright? You say, I am unemployed or you say, I am jobless. The next slide. What's your marital status or what's your matrimonial status? You say, I am single, which means célibataire. I am engaged, which means fiancé. I am married, which means je suis marié. I am divorced, I am widowed. Divorcé, et veuf. So you say with or without children. With children, you say with 10,000 children. I guess nobody has that amount of children. 10,000 children or 2 children or say 4 children. I am, as I am concerned, I am single without children, but I will say I am engaged. Alright, so where do you live or where do you reside? You say, I live at Bedromene, which is the district area, quartier. I live in city, town, country. I live in Cotonou. Whenever it is a city, okay, or a town, you say in. You use the preposition in, but when it is a district or area, use preposition at. So you say, I live, for instance, I say I live at Fidjose in Cotonou. Alright. So I live in Benin, in Cotonou, precisely at Bedromene. Moving on. What's your religion? I'm Christian, Catholic, or I am Muslim, or just name it. Alright. Moving on. What are your hobbies? As far as I am concerned, I love swimming. I like fitness. I like jogging, but I don't like soccer that much. I don't love soccer that much. If you love soccer, whenever somebody asks you what are your hobbies, c'est-à-dire quels sont vos passe-temps préférés, you say I like jogging, I love soccer, I like reading. I like reading because I am a writer, so I like writing. As far as I like writing, I also love reading, you know. And I also like listening to music, but not that much sometimes. So moving on, the next slide is what to say after an introduction. Let's assume you meet somebody you never met before, like it's a person that's a foreigner, for instance. You guys have to get to know one another, for instance. So you introduce yourself, right? And then the person introduces him or herself back. So what do you say after that? You say, pleased to meet you, nice to meet you, glad to meet you, delighted to meet you. And then the person to reply says, nice to meet you too, pleased to meet you too, delighted to meet you too, and so on and so forth. Let's move on. Next slide. When you say how to learn and practice English indoors. How to learn and practice English indoors. Alright, so these are a few tips that I'm going to share with you guys. The first is a daily routine description. What do I mean by that? At the end of every single day, at the day break, you guys have to sit down in your room and be able to describe everything you have been doing throughout the day. How do you do that? It's that simple, you know. You take your phone, you record yourself, okay? You remember everything you've been doing during the day, right? And then you start, let's say for instance, if you woke up at 10 a.m, which is actually very late. If you want to amount to anything in life, you got to wake up early in the morning. All right, so you describe your day. That's the daily routine description. If you keep doing that every single day, you guys, I can assure you that in 3 months or 6 months time, you're going to improve significantly your level in English. All right, so that's the first tip. The second tip is the event and party description. That means if you went to any event or party or whatever it is, and then you come back home as an English lover, English learner, the first thing you have to do is just sit down in your room, or just sit with a friend, and you guys tell each other what you experienced at the party or that event that you attended. You should describe exactly what you have been doing during that party, what you have eaten, what you have drunk, and you see, you have dined and wine. You should describe everything, the people you met there, and all of this. So this is a constant assignment you should be doing, you guys. So the next thing on the list is the list. All right. The next thing on the list is the list of all common action verbs you guys should master. All right, because there are things we do every single day. So these things you should know, you guys. These are action verbs, so you should know them, master them, know them at the tip of your hands or your fingers. Sorry. The list of regular verbs, you should know that too. The short storytelling, which is YouTube, and finally the games. Well, without much ado, let's start with the daily routine description. This is, for instance, the day of Lily. All right, Lily had that hectic day. She came back home and she wants to translate. She wants to describe what you've been doing during the whole day, and then she writes it in French first. If you want, you can write it in French first. Okay, if for the moment you can't think in English straight, you can start thinking in French, write it down, and then translate into English. Okay, if you are a beginner. But if you are not a beginner or you are an intermediate student, then you have to go straight in English and write the text in English. Alright, so the description, here is the description. Lily says, aujourd'hui je suis allé faire quelques courses en ville pour mes parents. Lorsque je suis revenu, j'ai aidé mon petit frère à faire ses exercices de maison. Ma mère était déjà à la cuisine et préparait un délicieux mets. Je l'ai aidé en faisant quelques travaux domestiques. Entre-temps, papa est arrivé et nous sommes tous réunis au salon pour recevoir et divertir un invité. Maman a ensuite servi le repas et nous a appelés à table. Lorsque je me suis assise à table, je me suis rendu compte qu'il n'y avait pas de poisson sur mon repas. Le chat l'avait bouffé. Il a ouvert le couvercle et l'a bouffé. Ce fut une journée terrible. Pour me distraire, j'ai alors regardé une série télévisée sur Netflix avant d'aller au lit. So here's the day of Lily, and Lily wants to translate this day, this description in English. How do we do? Okay, how do we do? In order to enable you to follow me, you guys should pause the video. All right, you pause this video and then you translate at your own. Okay, at your end, you translate at your end, and then after you play the video and you come and see the real translation. I think that there's something wrong here. Alright. Aujourd'hui, je suis allé faire quelques courses en ville pour mes parents. How do we say aller faire des courses? Okay, you say to run some errands. To run some errands. Faire quelques courses. Aujourd'hui, je suis allé faire quelques courses en ville pour mes parents. Today, I went in town, or I ran some errands for my parents in town. I ran some errands for my parents in town. Ok? Lorsque je suis revenu, j'ai aidé mon petit frère à faire ses exercices de maison. Lorsque je suis revenu, how do you say that? When I came back home, j'ai aidé mon petit frère à faire ses exercices de maison. I helped my junior brother. Okay, so if you want to say petit frère, grand frère, you say junior, which means petit frère, or petit frère, petite sœur. Senior, which means grand frère ou grande sœur. Okay, my junior brother in his home assignments. Ok, ma mère était déjà à la cuisine et préparait un délicieux mets. My mother was already cooking a delicious meal in the kitchen. Alright, je l'ai aidé en faisant quelques travaux domestiques. I helped her with a few. How do you say travaux domestiques? How do you say that? House chores. A few house chores. Entre-temps, papa est arrivé et nous nous sommes tous réunis au salon pour recevoir et divertir un invité. Entre-temps. Meanwhile, Daddy arrived and we all gathered in the living room to welcome and entertain a guest. Guest, which means invité. Alright, I hope you guys are following me. Let's go. So the next sentence is maman a ensuite servi le repas et nous a appelés à table. Mom then served the meal and called us to eat. Alright, lorsque je me suis assise à table, je me suis rendu compte qu'il n'y avait pas de poisson sur mon repas. Très drôle, n'est-ce pas? That's too funny, alright? So when I sat around the table, je me suis rendu compte. How do you say that? Je me suis rendu compte. I realized there were no fish on my meal. Okay, I realized there were no fish. Fish, which means poisson. Meal, which means repas. There were no fish on my meal. Le chat l'avait bouffé. The cat, very good. The cat ate it all. Alright, let's move on. And then, il a ouvert le couvercle. We are talking about the cat. Il a ouvert le couvercle et l'a bouffé. Eat, alright, eat, or sometimes some people consider, animals like human beings. So sometimes they are categorized such as he or she. But in this case, I would recommend you guys use eat. Eat. Open the cup or cover and ate it. Ce fut une journée terrible. Alright, that was a terrible day. That was an awful day. That was an awful day. Alright. And for the last sentence, pour me distraire, j'ai alors regardé une série télévisée sur Netflix avant d'aller au lit. Okay, to have fun, I watched a Netflix series on TV before going to bed. All right, so that's we are done with Lily's day. All right, we move to another example, you guys, and the next one is Matthew. Voici la journée de Mathieu. Voilà, et il a d'abord décrit cette journée en français. Ensuite, là, il veut traduire. Mathieu est, comment je vais dire ça, un débutant. Donc, il a traduit en français, ensuite, il a mis en français, ensuite, il va le traduire. So, how do we go? We say, ma chérie, aujourd'hui, j'ai assisté à 3 réunions qui ont duré 6 heures au total. So, you guys should screenshot, okay, this part. You screenshot, you post the video, alright, and then you come back, okay, some minutes later to have the full translation, okay. So let's translate Matthew's part, Matthew's day, alright. Ma chérie, aujourd'hui j'ai assisté à 3 réunions qui ont duré 6 heures au total. My darling, today I attended, ok, comme vous avez dû le constater, if you want to say assister à un événement, participer à un événement, une réunion, or whatever it is, you say to attend an event or to attend a meeting. All right, hope you guys can follow me. So Matthew, he said, my darling, today I attended 3 meetings qui ont duré, which lasted 6 hours in total. Je suis épuisé. How do we say je suis épuisé? Oh, je suis épuisé. How do you say that in English? Say, I am not tired. If you thought it was tired, you got it wrong. You say, I am exhausted. I am exhausted. Tired is, let's say, that's the that's the lower level. When you want to go a higher level, that means you are so exhausted that you are so tired in your mind, in your head, everywhere. Say, I am exhausted, which is the appropriate expression. Nos partenaires chinois ont fait des dépenses qui ont légèrement dépassé les prévisions budgétaires. How do you say that? Our Chinese partners made some expenditures which slightly exceeded our budget provisions. Okay, so when you want to say Chinese partenaire chinois, dépenses, expenditures, or you say expenditures, or you say expenses. You can say expenditures, you can say expenses. Alright, moving on. Qui ont légèrement, slightly, okay, slightly dépassé, exceed prévision budgétaire, budget provisions. Il fallait donc apporter des modifications. We needed, we needed to amend. Ok, nous avons l'intention d'organiser, to amend, which means modifier, amendment, ok, modifier, apporter des modifications à un projet de loi ou n'importe quoi. Nous avons l'intention d'organiser une méga conférence sur la prospérité financière et l'entrepreneuriat au Bénin. Nous avons l'intention. How do you say nous avons l'intention in English? You say we intend to host, organiser. It is used for events, parties, or just name it, meeting. If you want to say organiser quelque chose, you say to host. Alright? We intend to host a massive conference on financial prosperity and entrepreneurship in Benin. Notre conférence aura lieu les 23 et 24 décembre 2022. Our conference, how do we say aura lieu? How do you say that? Our conference, you either say our conference will take place or you will say will hold, okay? it's up to you to choose. Will hold or will take place. Our conference will hold. As for me, I am much more inclined to choose hold. Our conference will hold on December 23 and 24th 2002. Nous avons reçu plusieurs courriers de participants qui désirent réserver leur ticket. We got, okay, to get, recevoir, or we received. We got several emails from participants who want to book their tickets. To book their ticket, which means réserver leur ticket, okay? To book a ticket, réserver un ticket. And it is the same when you go to a restaurant. You can book a restaurant table, okay? Réserver une salle réserver une table au restaurant ou réserver, comment je vais dire ça, une salle d'événement et tout cela. To book, alright? Moving on. Voici la raison pour laquelle je suis débordé au boulot et que je n'arrive plus à t'accorder assez de temps, mon miel. Okay, so this Matthew is talking with his babe. Okay, he's talking with his girlfriend. Alright, you should have guessed. So voici la raison pour laquelle je suis débordé au boulot. That is the reason why. La raison pour laquelle. It is the reason why. That is the reason why I am overwhelmed. Okay, débordé. To be overwhelmed. I am overwhelmed at office and I can't give you the necessary time, my honey, mon miel. Okay, so for those of you guys who are intending to date some Nigerians or Ghanaians and you want to tell them my honey, you say my honey, that means mon miel. Okay, that's sweet, you guys. So moving on to the next, I'm afraid we won't be able to cover all the descriptions, but since this is Matthew's time, okay, this is Matthew's day. Moving on to the next, we'll be talking about how to describe an event or a party. Let's say for instance some friends invited to a birthday party, okay, or they invited you to an event, okay, alright, that's maybe a concert. How do you describe what you have experienced there in English? You do that every single day, everything you have been doing all the day, okay, even if these are extraordinary, like these are ordinary activities that you do every single day, you still have to translate them, okay, because this is how you practice English at home. You get new expressions. So because if you want to translate your day for instance or describe your day for instance in English, there will be some words you don't know. You look for those words. While looking for those words, you are enlarging or broadening or enriching your vocabulary base, your database, okay, as far as vocabulary in English is concerned. That will help you to go from the beginners level to intermediate level or even advanced level. Alright, so you describe the event or party. You can just screenshot this part and you do it at home, you do it from your office or from where you are watching this video. And then moving on to the next tip on the list, I told you about the daily routine description. We have done it. The event party description, this is what we are currently on. And the next thing is the list of common action verbs that are used in English. Okay, by mastering these common action verbs, the benefit or the profit is that you will be able to know how to describe what you have done. Let's say for instance, if I tell you guys to tell me exactly how do we say j'ai passé la serpillère dans le salon. Can you guys tell me that? J'ai passé la serpillère dans le salon. How do you say that? To mop the floor. I mopped the floor of the living room or the sitting room. So you see, these basic action verbs, you should know them in English in order to easily express yourself when it comes to when you meet a native speaker or when you meet your friends. Okay, you won't be stuttering. Vous n'aurez plus à bégayer. Why? Because if you don't have the expressions in your mind, in your memory, you cannot speak them unless you have them in your mind. Donc Si vous n'enregistrez pas ces expressions, ces mots dans votre tête, quand il viendra le temps de les utiliser, où allez-vous les trouver? Je ne pense pas. C'est-à-dire il faut forcément les emmagasiner, les avoir quelque part dans la tête. Et donc pour ce faire, c'est le processus d'enrichissement du vocabulaire. Voilà pourquoi je partage ces astuces. Daily routine description, event and party description, list of common action verbs, okay, list of irregular verbs. Let's quickly proceed over the list of common action verbs. Here's the document. I hope you guys can see. Here's the document, the list of common action verbs. So I'll ask you guys, I'll pick the first 5 expressions or verbs, and I'll ask you guys to just pause the video and make 5 sentences. I mean one sentence with each verb. Okay, the first one is to ride, the second one to sit down, the third one to stand up, the fourth one to fight, and the fifth to laugh. Okay, it starts now. You guys should take 5 minutes. Pause the video, take 5 minutes, make 5 sentences, one with each expression. Let me remind the expressions. I said to ride, to sit down, to stand up, to fight, and to laugh. Let's go. Pause the video and make the sentences. Okay, welcome back then. I assume you guys have already made your sentences. The first sentence, let's read, is to ride. Ride, or everybody knows that as far as it is a motorbike or a non-motorbike, okay, which is a bicycle, it's too far to ride to your grandmother's. When Nigerians, when native speakers say to your grandmother's, that means to your grandmother's place or to your grandmother's house. Okay, that's what they mean basically. It's too far to ride to your grandmother's. You'd better take the bus. Okay, you can translate the sentence at your own, at your end. To sit down, I just want to sit down and relax. That is for a person who is exhausted or tired. To stand up, she didn't even have the strength to stand up. Okay, that means probably because she is exhausted. To fight, it is better to fight for justice than to rail at the ill. So you guys translate the sentence. Moving on, I don't have that much time to be translating everything. The last expression is to laugh. Okay, ha 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 ha. Okay, when somebody does something funny, or when somebody mocks somebody else, like in a way which is not pleasant. So we said to laugh at your ills and save doctor's bills. That's funny. So translate those sentences. We are at the end of today's tutorial, which I split it in 2. You guys, if you had fun, if you enjoyed yourself, if you kind of learned several expressions, kind of had added value, the least I can ask you is to subscribe to this YouTube channel and share the video with all your peers, friends who are in love with English, if I can allow myself, who love English and love to improve their English level. My name is Giovanni De Souza. I am your coach, and until